So we have more details in the lover spat between Donald Trump and Fox News. So now, according to a report by the New York Times, Trump had been calling the chief executive of Fox News to complain about the coverage, to complain that he was not being, I'm sorry, that he was not being supported enough by the network. Really? Well, again, really interesting here. Now, the president, according to the report, a regular viewer of the channel, is said to be unhappy over occasional criticism of his tenure in the White House. And of course, he had called in late this summer. Now, Suzanne Scott, who is the CEO of Fox News, not News Corp. So Fox News is a subsidiary of News Corp, run by, again, Suzanne Scott. She decided to placate him with an interview with Bret Baier. So now Donald Trump, he's a sucker. He's a whore for media. So yeah, okay, oh, fine. I'll go with Bret Baier. And so he goes on that, and it kind of placated him for just a little while, right? But now you've got some bad polls that come out. For one, you've got president approval ratings, which are never good unless you're from Rasmussen, which oversamples Trump supporters, conservatives, and they have a well-known right-wing bias. And so that poll, those polls come out that show Trump's not doing so well, especially in the battleground states, losing to most of the Democrats, even general, like a no-name Democrat, he still loses. And so, okay, you got those polls, but now, even more so, this poll, recent one from Fox News itself, it showed that 51% of Americans would support not just impeachment, but impeachment and removal. Ooh. So that has the baby very, very mad. Trump went to Twitter, of course, and he said, from the day I announced I was running for president, I've never had a good Fox News. I never had a good Fox News poll. Whoever their pollster is, they suck. But Fox News is also much different than it used to be in the good old days, whenever that was. So now understand something, right? So President Trump, you guys know, deeply corrupt. Do we know that? We know that. He expects, I believe, Fox News to make things up and to lie about his poll numbers on his behalf. Now, why do I think that? Why do I think that he'd want to gaslight the nation? Well, I mean, look, it's fairly clear if you don't know but if you don't know the answer, then I will explain it to you. But here's the thing. Before I get to that, remember, Fox News didn't make up the poll. They conducted it, sure, and then reported on the results. Again, you can mess up polls, you can do push polling, you can do leaning polls, you can oversample, et cetera, right? In this case, Fox News just did a straight poll. It's the same kind of polls where they found that Bernie Sanders was leading. I think it was, back 6 months ago, something like that. Maybe even longer. Okay. Again, polls, right? So Donald Trump doesn't like the polls. I think, again, he wanted Fox News to basically take the poll, tweak it a little bit. Kind of like what Breitbart does. Remember, Breitbart did a poll, an approval rating poll, that showed 96% approval. I mean, it's completely laughable. And he's like, Trump's like, did you see the Breitbart poll? I get 96% of the country. 96%. The best president ever. No, Breitbart pulled it out of their ass. That's not a real, valid scientific poll. No, it was probably an online poll of literally all Breitbart readers. And still only got 96%. Should have gotten like 100. But okay, all right. But now, since Fox News is not doing that, is not going the Breitbart route of just making up polls or poll numbers, he's mad. Why aren't you more like Breitbart or like One America News? I like them better. because they don't actually report facts. They gaslight the nation, which is exactly what he wants. Look, Breitbart, they're 100% detached from reality. Now, Fox News, again, they're the propaganda arm of the Republican Party, and they have their opinion hosts that are crazy, like Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and many others, right? But they also do some legitimate news. Again, it pains me to say that, but oh, it's true though. Some of their hosts are actually beholden to real facts. Even the ones that are left. Again, Shep Smith left on Friday. He was one of the ones that actually believes in facts, but there are still others that are deeply conservative that are still at Fox News, and even they're like, yeah, we can't. I mean, we're not just gonna make things up for you. In fact, you have Andrew Napolitano. Now he's a deeply right wing guy. Okay, but even he looked at the call with Ukraine, for example, and that's what the whole impeachment inquiry is based on. And he says, man, that is an impeachable offense. It's right there. That is a president attempting to use his influence to get a foreign country to conduct an investigation on his political opponent. That is clearly unconstitutional. That a president is not able to do that. That is a violation of the law. Fairly clear, right? Not only that, but you have Chris Wallace. Now, Chris Wallace, another deeply conservative person, right? Very conservative journalist. He said the same thing. He said, the whistleblower said, when he was reporting on this, right, that there was a troubling call in which the president asked the Ukrainian president to look at and investigate the allegation of misdoing by Vice President Biden and his son. We now have a rough transcript of that phone call, and that's exactly what happened. So that's based on the memo that the White House itself released. Again, Chris Wallace refused to go and gaslight the nation and say, oh, no, the call, beautiful. The wonderful call, nothing illegal in it, right? And now Trump, again, hates that, went after him, and on Sunday said, you know what? The Chris Wallace, absolutely 100% wrong. This was the call with Ukraine was congenial and very, very good. Right. Now, congenial and good are pretty subjective, right? And besides, it doesn't matter how nice it was. It was still Donald Trump pressuring a foreign government where you had this near 400, billion dollars of was it 400 million, 400 billion? I can't remember. You had this military aid that was basically on the line, that was being held up by the administration. And he's saying, oh, no, absolutely no pressure on the Ukrainian leader to agree to my demands or to my quote unquote favor. Sure. You can't do that. Absolutely illegal. Pointing that out is factual. Now, imagine, right, if the shoe was on the other foot. Imagine if Obama called up CNBC or just the network, NBC itself, and said, you guys are not being supportive enough. You're not being supportive enough of my administration, and I really appreciate it if you were a bit more supportive for me. Thank you. I know it's a really bad Obama impression, but you get the difference, right? So now imagine if that happened. You know what would ensue? Especially in right-wing media, heads would explode. There'd be pieces of brain matter and skull everywhere in conservative media. How dare you, Obama? I knew the media was rigged against us. Now, the difference here is that's not actually entirely on Obama. Now, he never called anybody up, especially the head of MSNBC or NBC itself, right, to do that. He never did any of that. Now, does that mean that the media was, super soft on Obama? Yes, absolutely. And I have called out the media for doing that. Establishment Democrats, establishment Republicans they're incredibly kind to. Why? Because, well, they're worried about access. They want to retain access to the president and their staff. Now, does the president have to sit there and call people and tell them, oh, I'm going to take away your access? No. But it's implicit, right? It's an implicit thing. Oh, if you're kind of rude or you ask the wrong kind of questions, well, then, of course, you're not going to get access to my staff or anyone else or the president of the United States or these certain senators. That's how it works. Now, that's something that needs to change in the media. Absolutely. But again, this isn't about that, right? Donald Trump craves positive media attention. He doesn't give a damn about access, right? No, he sends his goons on TV wherever, even on the hated fake news CNN. He sends Kellyanne Conway out there, or he did, sends his press secretary, sends anybody that he can out to defend him. Why? Because he likes watching it on TV. Not only that, but he likes going on TV himself. Again, this guy is a showman. That's all he likes to do is be the center of attention. Okay. Again, Obama never told any networks to lie about poll numbers and that they're not being sufficiently loyal when they actually report facts. And I remember many times on MSNBC where they would actually go after President Obama on certain things. So don't tell me that it didn't happen. Okay. Now, the press is not supposed to be state TV. And as much as the establishment crossing lines in order to make money, right? The establishment and the media getting together to make money and keep the relationships with politicians, etc. It's never been as obvious and as blatant and petty as it is with President Trump. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.